Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Live Room. This is season 1, episode 14, where we discuss real topics with real people having real conversations. On today's topics, we're going to be speaking about a lot of companies that filed for bankruptcy during this COVID-19 crisis. And, we need to try to figure out, how is these companies filing bankruptcies? Shouldn't they have had assets? Where's this money going? Etc. So I want to see what you guys thought about all the bankruptcies going on with these large companies right now.
Well, most were struggling before, they were struggling prior. And so you can't just take 3 months off. I was worried. Everybody was worried.
Yes.
And I think everybody always thinks that their businesses somehow magically have money, grows on trees for them or something. Even in the frozen yogurt business, which is a very small time thing, but if you keep the numbers round, say you bring in $1 million and you're the top store in the franchise, you have to understand that 900,000 of that goes right back out for bills. So the overhead is high. So your profit margin, you got to really look at that.
Yes.
And as I told you, if it costs $500,000 to put it up to begin with, your owner would like to get that back. And, and of course they're not doing it for their health. They'd like to make a living out of it. So I think people underestimate what it takes to run a business.
Absolutely, and you hit it. The hammer right on top of the nail right there as a business owner, and me also as a business owner. Just because you have companies that are luxury brands doesn't mean that they have money to last in perpetuity. You have to look at the profit margins that these companies are making every quarter. So some of these companies have done well over the years, and some of them have been struggling, and some of them had smaller profit margins. Well, all it takes is a couple of quarters or a couple of years for you not to make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not making a profit, then you're working in a deficit. And some companies just can't afford to do that. I'm a small business owner. My brother's a small business owner. It's been very hard for me. A small business owner, Black-owned business in downtown Atlanta. I have staff. I have not had income into my firm since March the 13th. The courts, we have a judicial state of emergency until June 12th, which is my birthday. But that judicial state of emergency states that courts are only taking emergency hearings. So I am a civil litigation attorney. So the courts aren't really hearing cases that are not emergencies or criminal. I don't do criminal law. I taught criminal law. So we haven't had income since then. But I have been practicing law for 20 years. I own my house, I own my car. So I have a little stability.
Right.
So just a little, this much. I wouldn't be able to survive too much longer. But you have attorneys that are just graduating law school. You have attorneys that haven't been practicing 20 years like me, who don't have the support of their family like me. They're not going to come out of this.
No, they're not. And, people say, why can't they just go to the bank? Why don't you go to the bank and get money? Banks are not there to be Santa Claus. They're very hard to get money out of.
Well, and I think that also, having all the issues that our economy and world's having these days, we can't just go to some of these places. Like, I personally think like Gold's Gym, they're more expensive than other gyms.
Yeah.
That's an issue for me. I can't afford that gym.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Neiman Marcus has expensive makeup and facial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford that stuff.
Yeah.
So with the issues that have been happening this year, we can't afford that stuff. Why are we going to go? We're going to, we can't afford the higher price. We're going to step it back a little bit and get what we can, or exclude it completely.
And these are the companies that get bailed out. And that's what I was confused about. I'm like, these are the companies that get bailout money. And I'm like, with the airlines, because Frontier Airlines just filed for bankruptcy as well. And I'm just like, really? Like, Hertz car rental? I was looking at Hertz. I'm like, do you understand how much they charge for that insurance coverage? It's like, a lot of these companies, enterprise, all of them, $22 a day, $39 a day.
Mm-hmm.
If knowing people that used to work there and all these companies, that's all revenue. That's all additional revenue because their insurance policies cover the cars anyways. So all that other money is just
You can have
Go ahead.
You can have high revenue, but your return on your investment and your profit margin still can be low. And that's something a lot of people don't understand. The revenue is one thing, but it is the profit margin. You have some smaller companies that have larger profit margins, and you have some larger companies that have, you know, a higher rate of return. And so that doesn't matter. You have to look at the profit margin and not just the revenues. That's what's going to make or break a company.
Yeah, you've heard the bigger you are, the harder you fall type thing.
Yes, exactly.
So the first month, and again, I just have 2 right now. I sold one and the other one lost its lease. So I just had 2, thank God, to worry about at this point. But you know, in 1 month, that's because I try to stay open, to be there for the public, for takeout, to go, blah, blah, blah. And to keep my kids, I call my kids with a few hours to work, but I dropped 40,000 quickly. Mm-hmm. Now, fortunately, I got some of the Paychecks Protection, which righted the ship. But you know, if that's not business interruption, I don't know what is. So I call my insurance company, who's supposed to be insuring for that. State didn't pay anybody. Oh, it's an act of God. No, it's an act of China, actually. But anyway, you know, so there was no insurance coverage for that. You know, insurance companies, once again, will tell you, we're not Santa Claus either. And we're here, you know, that's why all the big buildings in LA are insurances or banks. So, you know, they're there to protect their own and their own real estate. They're not there to hand out. I always get tickled whenever there's an earthquake. Suddenly all the insurance companies go bankrupt conveniently. Okay, well, we pay your insurance premiums for years to have coverage, you know. So anyway.
Like with Hertz, when I started driving with Lyft back little over 2 years ago, I rented a car through them, which was partnered with certain Hertz locations. They charge you $230 a week for their vehicle.
Right.
It's like, and believe it or not, there are a lot of driving in LA. You experience a lot of different people and even fellow drivers, you know, and there are so many people that are actually driving with rental vehicles through Hertz and Lyft. Crazy. And I was one of them for a long time.
And speaking of that, you know, I was researching while you guys were talking. Insurance companies that deny COVID-19 claims but cover vandalism damage. This was reported by ABC 7. You know, it just goes. You're right. The insurance companies are in there, you know, to make money. Not just. You know, that's what they're there for. And so of course, they're going to deny this because, of course, the claims are going to be massive. People couldn't work. I mean, people's businesses were damaged. People couldn't pay their rent. I mean, literally. And so it does kind of sucks for businesses, especially small businesses that's trying to make it and trying to get it off the ground. And that's why I said, you know, this bailouts that they had signed into law, they should have, you know, made sure that this money actually went to the businesses that really need it, not to places like Ruth Chris or the Lakers. I couldn't process that. I was like, the Lakers, they pay their players $100 million contracts. So you guys ain't broke.
Well, one thing is to remember is that some of those companies that are going bankruptcy, their shareholders and their owners, they're still going to be wealthy after this. 50% of American employees work for small businesses. The lopsidedness of it is that a lot of the small businesses, you know, we don't have those massive investments in the stock market. We invest in our business. So when we go to the bank, for example, with the Paycheck Protection Program, the first round through my bank and Bank of America, you had to have an existing loan with them. A lot of small businesses, a lot of women-owned businesses, a lot of minority-owned businesses, we have accounts with them, but we didn't have that revolving credit. And we don't have that money invested in the stock market because our money is invested in our small businesses. And I'm proud of that because people always say, well, you should be invested here, you should be invested in there. But it's different when you are a small business owner. Every ounce of our revenue that comes back in, we have to have a return on an investment. So we have to reinvest in our business.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Was that Georgia? Because I don't have a loan with B of A too. I didn't have a loan with them and I got it. Did you not get it?
Yeah, but I have one, but that was initially part of their.
Yeah, I didn't get the first one either. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was initially a part of their requirements.
Oh, okay.
But that's good to know also.
I think I spoke about this on an episode like 4 or 5 episodes ago or something about our maid. Don't look at me crazy. We have a maid that comes in every week, but we keep her employed. You know, she's getting paid, she's employed. But she was telling me about her sister, and her sister went to Bank of America to get a small business loan. Of course, she invested that money into her own business, which everybody should do. And they denied her because they said that she does not have an existing loan with her company.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're just picking and choosing.
They gave us a sheet of paper that said that.
So yeah, she's so now she doesn't know how she's going to pay the rent because the landlords, they didn't stop collecting money. They still want their money. Okay, so it was just like, Trump, how you expect people, not just him, but just the governments, the local, everybody in general.
We had my husband's a doctor of chiropractic, and he has a patient that brought it home to me because I was like, yeah, but my landlords are being so mean. You know, they're like, it's due, we don't care. And he goes, well, look at it from my perspective, because he was a property manager. He goes, I've got a $40,000 note due too from the people that rent from me. So I guess it's just domino on down the line. So I don't know who could have been nice. At least they put out no evictions, but you know, still it just piles up. You're going to have to pay it sometime. So
who's going to end up getting that big old chunk at one time anyway?
Yeah. How's that possible? If we're struggling,
yeah, of course.
I mean, nobody's going to have any profit for the year 2020. That's impossible now. It's impossible now.
And I want to show y'all something that just that really bothered me, because I've been speaking to a lot of friends regarding COVID-19 and things of that nature. And this was NBC reported damaged Asian businesses show solidarity with Black Lives Matter protesters. Now, I was speaking with a few friends that work for a lot of organizations, and their businesses were damaged because of COVID-19 and the protests and people just, you know, all things going on. And what happened is these Asian businesses that are very racist against Black people, people that know some of these businesses, they went in and had encounters with them, cops called on them, everything. And you never see that the Asian protesters are out there with Black people regarding any type of their rights. But when it comes to them and something happens to them, now all of a sudden they're reaching out to these Black organizations saying, for our businesses, we need Black community and us to come together. Well, my question to them is, why didn't you guys do that before? I mean, literally, you know, Black people go to a lot of these hair beauty supply stores. That's 90% of their customers right there, buying the hair, the nails, and all that stuff. And then you continue to treat us like we're second-class citizens. And
well, I think some of the issues that we see are cultural, you know, but there are a lot of Asians who have been protesting and saying, and they have a saying saying that Asian silence kills. But you have a lot of, this time around, I can say, you have Asians, you have Latinos, you have whites, you have the LGBT community who has come out, you have a lot. So of course there are going to be some people who have been against the movement, but the majority, I think, are on board, and people want to see the end of police brutality. Yeah. I think, you know, Trump supporters, conservatives, people still want to see the end of police brutality. So I don't want to have that narrative where we go against a race of people, because I also believe that, you know, there is no one panacea, there's no one cure-all, and you can't lump a group into one category. That's always dangerous, having those views.
Were you trying to say, Chris, that Asians tend to have a prejudice against Black people? I didn't follow that.
They do. Growing up in California and just going to a lot of the stores and stuff, and just seeing videos of it, you know, we go in there, we're a majority of your customers, we go into your stores, we, you know, you build your shops down the street, you get a lot of your shops built on sometimes tax-free or grant money, because the government does have contracts with overseas company. And so that's how, and so when you come over here and you're following us around the store and stuff, it's like I have a problem with that, because now since your business is suffering, you need us to come back to your store to put money back into your pocket.
Well, you know,
and that's where I'm getting at, and that's why I was like, you know, I in my opinion, they should have been reaching out a long time ago about Black people doing business with them in the past. Now since they're affected, now they see something different.
I've had to talk to my employees. A lot of them are Latino because we're at the shop. We're out in AV Valley, so that'll tell you. And I noticed that I thought, seemed prejudiced against Blacks. So I've talked to them about it. You know, what the history there is of Latinos against Blacks. And I make sure I hire, you know, I hire everything. So, you know, so that there's nobody can say I don't. And so I didn't know, but I didn't know there was an Asian thing. I've noticed that.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah, then look, and I have a paralegal who's a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
and she's a Black woman. and
Yeah.
my housekeeper is also. That's a whole other story. But I would say this, Krista. What I was saying is that there is a narrative that pretty much everybody is against Black people around the world. You know, there's been a lot of violence against Black people in China. So I wasn't saying that to take away from that issue. When we look at the oppression of Black people in America, going back to the history, we are the ones that are most vulnerable, and we're the ones who have been victimized. So when you have people coming to this country, that's what they see, and that's the bandwagon that they jump on. Now, again,
but I'm spending my money.
Who get out, but you have people who grew up.
Yeah, but if I'm spending my money at your thing, I don't play that. If I'm making you rich or I'm paying your bills, you better start treating me with respect, just like the white companies and the Black companies and everybody else companies. And that's my thing. They should have been speaking out about this before.
Most of them have a history of racism towards us. And that is just very true. You know, the Hispanics and Asians, but we are starting to see now that that's being turned around.
Yes,
because it's going to take us all.
Right. I was gonna say I have an international family. I mean, we adopted a Latino, we got an Asian and stuff. So I think people don't see what they're not, you know what I mean? So I didn't really know that Asians had a thing against.
That goes back. There goes back into the beginning of American history. Because if you look at it, the majority of the small businesses in our communities are Asian owned. A lot of the liquor stores, the gas stations, the hair shops, most of those are Asian owned. And you know, if you go back even to Christopher Columbus, some people believe that there were Asians here first, and they had markets set up in Manhattan. So there have always been Asians in America who have had markets. So they have a stronghold in America. When we were here as slaves, they had restaurants and businesses here. So they had a leg up on us. But you know, even we're dealing with a lot of the Mexicans. You know, a lot of them or Spanish descent, which is European descent. So there's a lot of racism towards Black people from all of those races. But tell you, now it's different. You're starting to see more of us coming together. Not far enough, not enough, but you're starting to see some.
Well, let's hope that it does change for the better.
It has to.
We're about to start, absolutely. We're about to look at our company and product of the day, which is Apple. Everybody know who they is. Not Apples in the store. Apple, the actual company that sells these expensive phones that I actually like and spend money on. But I want to see what you guys thought about Apple. Apple is one of the few companies in America that is in the black. I mean, literally, they have trillions of dollars in assets just sitting there, money just sitting in the bank. They became a very successful company. There has been a controversy in the past regarding their expense prices are when they want somebody to buy a new phone, they will go ahead and I guess send out some signal to where your phone doesn't work no more so you can upgrade. So I just want to see what you guys thought about Apple.
I think that's true. I really do think that's true because let me tell you, new phones are coming out. Guess whose phone is not wanting to work as good? Mine. And but you know what? A lot of that has to do with updates. Our phones our things are only able to hold so much memory, and the more the updates are, they're all memory. You know what I mean? So it's gonna slow down. That's just how it is.
And it's pricey. Some of these phones, because some of the phones that used to come out, I mean, $1,200. I'm like, that's a
phone was that much. My husband had a text, and it was $1,300 he paid. And I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And you have a lot of kids now who are investing, or their parents are investing money in those type of phones. And like for a lot of us, we think $1,000 for a phone, never. But I mean, that is what society is moving towards, and we are all dependent on our phones. And I'm recording this, I'm on the show on the iPad. So I use Apple products, and I like Apple.
Me too.
But we're moving it where we are in the information age, and you have to realize that over 10 years ago, there wasn't even such thing as a smartphone. We didn't even have these. Yeah. So within the last 10 years, our lives have really changed. And the good thing about that, and this is what I alluded to earlier, even when it comes to issues of racial tension and violence, nothing has changed, but a lot of it is being recorded now and is being disseminated. And we have social media and these smartphones, and it's really helping to change the world.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do is we're going to end on our photo or video today, which is going to be me sharing a video since we're speaking about companies, and companies are, speaking out about, police brutality and things of that nature, Black Lives Matter. So I want to post this regarding Jeff Bezos from Amazon. We spoke about them in one of our other episodes. And Jeff Bezos, this was on TMZ, schools all lives matter customer. Here's what Black Lives Matter mean. And he had to literally, there's people that are sending him nasty messages about all lives. He said, let me tell you something. He said, I don't have to worry about my son getting a knee on his neck. I don't have to worry about my son being pulled over. I don't have to worry about my son being shot up for no reason. I don't have to worry about my son having his house kicked in because they assumed that he was doing drugs in there. I don't have to assume that. So when I see my Black people at my company going through this, yes, I see that there's a big difference. And I'm glad that companies, head of CEOs like this are speaking out regarding this, because that needs to happen across the board. I wasn't too happy about the NFL commissioners thing, because he came out saying, oh, Colin Kaepernick was right or whatever. Dude, we've been on that. He's been right for 400 years. You guys are jumping on the bandwagon, which I don't mind right now, but they're jumping on the bandwagon just to keep face, and I don't like that. It's like being a part of a charity event. Just say, oh, I donate to charity, when you really don't donate. It's like a third-party company that donates for you. You're just the face of it. So it's just things like this. So I'm glad that companies are starting to speak out about things like this. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to make us become, more better. And there definitely needs to be more diversity in the CEO and board of directors positions. So,
right. Yeah. Black lives matter, of course. And when people say all lives matter, we never said that all lives didn't matter. It's just now that our lives are in jeopardy. Again, since January the 1st, 2015, 1,252 Black people have been shot and killed by the police. Now, a Black man is 2.5 times more likely to be killed by the police than a white person. And we're only 13% of the population. So yeah, all lives do matter. But now we're concentrating on Black lives because we're being killed at such a higher rate.
Yeah, and I think that companies should I think now everybody's starting to wake up. So I'm glad companies are speaking out about things. But I want to share that because Amazon gets a bad rap about paying all the issues with the workers being overworked or something like that. Every company is not perfect, but people are trying to make things better within their companies. So yeah, I commend him for that. But thank you guys for joining me for this episode of Living Room. I'm going to see you on the next episode, which will be the last episode I have with you guys. So I will see you soon, okay?
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for watching The Living Room. If you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook pages. In addition to that, if you feel like you would like to be a co-host on our show, please make sure to submit your audition tape to thelivingroomtvshow.com, or you can also submit it on one of our social media pages. In addition to that, make sure to submit your audition tape and the reason why you would like to be on our show. We'll see you next episode. Have a good day. This episode of The Living Room is sponsored by Juiced Up, Way Smoothies on the Go. Juiced Up is a California-based company that offers smoothies and acai bowls on the go. The company accepts deliveries, and you can place your order by going to their Instagram page at JuicedUpAF, or for more information regarding the products, you can go to their website at www.juicedupaf.com.